What is going on, guys? Welcome to the first video in PHP object oriented programming, or PHP OOP. So we're gonna see in this series what is PHP object oriented programming, what is objects, what is classes, what is instantiation, what is polymorphism, what is encapsulation. We're gonna see what is instantiation. We're gonna see what is inheritance, and we're going to see all aspects of the object oriented programming. And if you guys don't know anything about the object oriented programming or classes, that's pretty much fine, as long as you guys know a little bit about PHP. If you guys don't know anything about PHP, so you guys go and first watch our PHP that we have shown you guys PHP, and then you can come and watch PHP, because understanding functions are essential parts of if you guys want to understand the object oriented parts of the PHP. Say for example, if you guys know how to declare your function ABC, you guys must know how to call your functions or how to invoke your functions. So make sure if you guys don't know anything about functions, make sure you guys first know and watch our basic PHP. So once you guys learn how to put your parameters, how to invoke your functions, how to call your functions, then you're good to go. And keep in mind, in PHP, in every programming language, we have procedural and we have object oriented. We have procedural programming, and we have object-oriented programming, or OOP. What is procedural programming? Procedural programming that we have shown you guys in the first playlist that you guys learned the PHP, the basic one, which you guys go and say, for example, you guys use for, you guys use a while loop, you guys use the for each. So whatever you guys do, say for example even functions, that's procedural programming. Okay, so if you guys want to follow the procedural programming, pretty much fine. But for example, if you guys want to program for a store, you guys need to write a lot of functions. Say for example, you guys put a function store, and then you guys need to put another functions, and then you need to put another functions, and keep on going with your functions till you guys may cover all the functions. Say for example, you guys are going to put a functions of the say name. For example, you guys put a name of the store, then you guys making another function for example door, and then you guys making another function for products, for example, and then you guys go and make another function. Say for example, if we continue with our procedural programming, because you guys need to make a lot of functions. Say for example, you guys need to make for manager, because manager has a function in store, and then you guys need to make another function for employees, and then you guys need to function for accountants, for example. So long story short, you guys gonna make hundreds of thousands of functions, and every function is gonna, you guys need to call every function somewhere, and all of these functions then gonna interact with each other. So, and you guys make the first page, and it has thousands and thousands of, because you guys needs to make function, then you guys need to put thousands of code in one say for example one page. Then you're going to start another one for accounting, then you're going to put all your functions, which is going to be hundreds. You're going to put another page, and then you're going to start another page and another page and another page, till finally it gets lots of pages. Then you're going to put all your functions with your procedural programming, and then what's going to happen that you guys gonna keep interacting with your function. As your program grows, you guys are gonna face difficulties. So why you guys gonna face difficulties? Because sometime what if this function store is not gonna work with the, say for example, function door. For example, we have a function door here, and say for example we have a function products here, and we have a function say manager here, and we have all sorts of function. All right, so now what if this function store is not working with the function door? Our function product is not going to work with the function manager. Our function xyz is not going to work with the function abc. At that ends, your program is going to get a higgly piggly, and you're going to lose all your program. So your program is going to crumble. How it's going to crumble? Because if something goes wrong, you got to look inside the thousands and thousands of pages with the thousands and thousands of codes, so to see which functions are malfunctioning. So even if you fix that functions, another function is gonna somewhere is gonna get buggy, and your program is gonna crash. Because this is a hard way. This is something that is undesirable. Is okay for a very small program, but when you guys gonna get a big massive program, say for example like Twitter, like a Facebook, like a Alibaba, something like that, joint, you guys are gonna lose track. So why not you guys gonna come here and say for example you guys make a class of, for example, Corio wood, for example, Corio wood, and this class gonna have all the authority on the store. Say for example class, we make it store, no problem. So this class store have all the authority over your entire store. This class handles everything, whatever you guys needs to know. Say for example in PHP, if you guys want to make, say for example, your website, and your website is going to be, the first example is going to be Facebook. You guys make object of the Facebook, and everything is going to revolve around these objects. Anything goes wrong with this your main class, for example Facebook, you guys gonna come quickly, and you guys know that there is somewhere there is a class Facebook, and there is something wrong with this one. This is called object oriented programming, because you guys are creating methods inside it. So keep in mind the functions we have learned. Function, say for example ABC, outside the class is a function, but when you bring this function inside the class, so bring inside the class, it becomes a method. So when you put a functions outside the class, it's a function. When you bring inside the class, it becomes a method. This is called object oriented programming. So now this class Facebook, our class store, this store have a constructor, for example, and that's constructor coming in the future videos, the constructor, and this one have a destructor, this one have a methods, this one have a variables, this one have whatever you guys gonna think. And now your class, you can create objects with this one, you can instantiate the object. So we're gonna come here on the top, and what is OOP that we just demonstrated? In OOP, data and code bundled together into an entity which is known as the objects. So now here we are creating class stores. We have a data and we have a code here. We have all sorts of information. Say for example we have a variable. We have a variable about the store, for example name. We have a variable about location, for example. We have a variable about manager, for example. Okay, so we have all this sort of variable. Now we know that this stores the what's the name, what is the location, where is the who's in charge of this one, and we're gonna know all the functionalities of this. What this store is gonna do. This store will have a, say for example, it has a product. It has this store has for example, this have for example, it has a employee. And we're gonna see this store have a door, this store have a windows, this store have a forklift, this store have a refrigeration room, this store has a toys, and you can see clothes, children clothes, ladies clothes, gents clothes. It has shoes, it has say for example computers, it has laptops, whatever this store has. It's a big massive store with thousands and thousands of products, with thousands and thousands of employees, and thousands of suppliers, and thousands of shippers, and so on and so forth. and all of this is going to come under one class. And we're going to make objects because this store is an object. Okay, so and this store, keep in mind, have a suppliers, this store have a shippers, and every suppliers have a family, and every suppliers have a family, and every shippers have a family, and every truck drivers have a family, every logistics have a family, every whatever you guys looking for, it has a family. So whoever, all of these people who are families, who's their brothers, our sons, our husbands works in this store, or revolve around this. Because if you are working, for example, a big message for Target or Kmart, then everyone refers you that this person works in the Target. So this Target is this store. Now our store is object, because everything revolves around these objects. You have suppliers who refer you with your name because they see you as an object. Is your store as an object, because this object has a name, this object has a location, manager, employees, shipper, it has a product, it has a clothes, everything, whatever computer. Say for example, if the Google sends you some product with their computer, Chrome OS, then Google is going to refer your store. Say for example, Apple sends you computer, then Apple is going to refer you, say Kmart or Target, because this your store is now is an object, because your store have all sorts of these functionalities and all sorts of these methods, and have a variables, whatever you can call it. So why not we can do programming that revolves around these objects. That's what is called object oriented programming. Alright, so we as a computer programmer, we want to make sure that the computers understand this. We know that that's a Kmart, that's a Target, Costco, whatever, Walmart, but how the computer is going to know, because they are just like a plane, everything's, they've got no idea, they don't have senses, they don't have anything that humans we do have. Say for example, if you say put apple, the computer doesn't know what apple is. You have to define to the computer. If you don't define anything, then the computers don't know. So that's how it is. So even we as a humans, when we are child, our parents gonna say that look, this is apple. When you guys learning apple, or for example you guys learning fruits names, any fruit name, say for example watermelon, our parents repeats this like thousands of times, unless till you guys get a grasp of this. When you guys touch apple, then you guys know the apple. Then when you guys taste apple, then you guys know the apple is an object. It has a taste. That's how it looks like. That's how it is. So your brain makes a model of this object. Say for example watermelon, and for example airplane, or anything that. If you guys don't know anything, it doesn't make sense to you. But if you guys know something, for example grape, then or grapes, whatever, then the brain makes a model of this. It means your brain makes the model of this object. So when the brain makes an object, then you guys know that apple has a taste, apple has a shape, and apple has a color, and apple has a blah blah blah, whatever is grows on the trees, and then it breaks then you know all this model, whatever inside your brain. Okay, same as we need to define this exactly same model to computer. So how we going to define this model? Say, but we're going to do with the classes, because classes are the blueprint of that model. The classes, you guys can define it. Say variable name is apple, location where it grows, tree how it grows, color, the taste, and blah blah blah, the kinds of apple, blah 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 blah, till the computer one day gonna understand this object. This is called object oriented programming. And all the objects, when you create that one, is interacts with each other. So whatever objects you guys create, say for example employees, managers, you're going to create objects of the manager, and then you're going to create objects of the employee. They're going to interact with each other, because they know each other now. They're the objects. There's a shipper, and as I said, the supplier is going to interact with the store, because we're going to make a model of that shipper, and that we're going to make a model of the supplier. And classes are a blueprint that defines attributes and behavior that we just explained. So objects are like things, as we already explained. Objects are instances of classes. Whatever class you guys makes, they are the instance of this classes. Every object has attributes and behavior of that class. Objects has number one state, as I said to you guys, the name, which is, we define that the state, the name is apple, and we're going to say that the color is green or reddish. So this objects, our objects has a state, and the number two, it's it has a behavior. Objects are like things. Objects are instances of the classes, as we explained to you guys. So there is object here, and we create an instance of that class, and every class creates objects, and keep in mind, every class can create objects, and all the objects are instance of the classes. So every object has attributes and behaviors of that class. Object has number one is called a state, which we call it store. In our case, say for example, the person has a name, and the person, that object has a color, whatever. This is just example. You guys can make a lot of other examples. Say for example, the height, width, whatever you guys gonna put an attribute to the state, and it has a behavior. What's the behavior? It's just like a functions. If you can put a functions walking, talking, functions employee, function supplier, shipper, whatever you guys gonna put it, this gonna have a behavior. So every objects, our classes are have a state, and it has a behavior. And what is the classes? Classes, they got to be the same, because the objects are instances of the classes. Classes, we can define this, for example, the name, we can put it as the string name. We can put it as like a variable. We can put a variable. This goes in the state of that class, and we define this as a variable. So you guys, for me, if you guys gonna come and say Joe Biden is a president of the United States, first of all, you guys needs to define his name. Secondly, you guys needs to be all the attributes about the Joe Biden. Say for example, his name, his height, his weight, his age. So, and how you're going to define this one is you're going to define this one through the variable. Or if you guys want to define the Donald Trump, or if you guys want to define Vladimir Putin, President Vladimir Putin, or if you guys want to define say President Xi Jinping, or if you guys want to define Prime Minister Modi, or Imran Khan, or whatever, whoever you want to define. To me, first of all, I need a name. Then I need say for example, any other attributes about, say for example, you have a name, you have then you have a position, where is then you have address, where it's located. For example, address or location. Say for example, if the President Xi Jinping his name is Xi Jinping, position is the President of China, and the address is he lives in say for example Beijing, and say for example his residence, his for example likes, dislikes, his dislikes, his whatever you guys want to define. Then you guys need to define this through the variable. We need to know through this the variable. And what's the behavior? Then you guys need to define his he can do this, he can say for example, and then you guys gonna come in through the behavior. We have then we have methods. Say for example, you guys need to put like a proper, then we guys need to make like a proper one here. Okay, so now we're gonna come here with the classes have a state, and classes have say for example methods. So as I said to you guys, when you declare the function outside the class, it's a function. When you declare inside the class, it becomes a method. Even though PHP has a function for everything, don't be confused. Function, it doesn't mean that it's a function. When it's outside the class, in every programming language, it's a function. When inside the class, it's a method. But PHP, they put a function for everything, because the name starts with a function. Okay, so but unlike any, say for example, unlike C++, which if we put a string, or say for example we put an int, or we can put whatever, but inside the PHP everything starts with a function. And if we, in the case of the Python, we put a def. So because we are learning PHP, we are not learning Python or C++, our Java, then we have to put a function. We have to follow what the PHP is, how the PHP puts the methods. So the method function is, for example, function walking. If you're defining the person, then the first person is going to be walking, and the person is going to be talking, and the person have other functionalities. In the case of cars, then the function is going to be driving, then the function is going to be engine, then the function brakes, then the functions tires. The everything is inside the car, as you see, it's got a function. Steering wheels have a function, the headlights have a function, the reverse light have a function, the double lights have a function, hazard lights have a function. Whatever you guys are going to see, the seats have a function, everything, the seat belts have a function. So you guys can define all those sort of functions with the methods. And now whatever we define here, you guys gonna put inside this class. So now this class equipped with everything whatever you guys needs to know. So that's what we are come here, and we say that there's objects, and that's how we're gonna define. We make one problem very easy. So now you guys tell me that we have bundled all this code and everything inside one class. How easy is this? We have one class that deals with all of this. And as I said to you guys, objects are entities with the data and interface. They may present a person, for example, a car, or anything that you guys imagine, or maybe a bank account that plays a role in our program. And I again tell you that the classes are blueprints, and classes are like a template for objects creation. And the data is the description of an objects, while functions are the behaviors of that objects. And then I'm going to explain to you guys the encapsulation is the wrapping up of data and functions into a single unit. Say for example, encapsulation you guys can define inside the store. Every stores have secrets. Say for example, IKEA or Kmart, that they don't want anyone to know what's going on inside the store, how the store is built. Say for example, if you have in case of IKEA, they don't want anyone know that why their store is so cheap, how they do the products, how they handle the products. IKEA, if you don't know, IKEA is the biggest store in the world. It's a Swedish company that operates in almost every country of the world, and they supply all the furniture, they supply all the tables, TVs, whatever. Not the TVs, they supply all the furnitures, fridges, everything. Okay, so IKEA don't want anyone to know about their product. Our Coca-Cola don't want to know how their product is made. This is called encapsulation. This is called data hiding. So that's it. I think that's enough for this video, because we have discussed a lot in this video. We have discussed the objects, we have discussed the classes, we have discussed the state, we have discussed the behavior, and we have discussed the methods, and we have discussed the encapsulation. So in the next video, I'm going to explain briefly what is data abstraction is, what is inheritance, what is polymorphism, data binding, and message passing. So that one we're going to leave for the next video. If you guys have any question or comment, leave in the comment box. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.